With Dragonflight coming out, there's a lot of people that want to rush all the way up to level 70 so that they can either start gearing up in heroics as well as mythic zeros, or also start leveling their ults so that they can go in exactly as mythic plus and all of the raids actually launch, since they're all launching at one exact time, and be prepared to run a ton of splits because this might be necessary for a lot of the more hardcore guilds. Well, it doesn't matter what you're in. The most important thing that means for you is you probably want to get through the leveling experience as fast as possible. Getting from 60 to 70, or even if you're starting a fresh character, like a lot of players from Classic, myself included, getting from 1 all the way up to 60 and then all the way up to 70 is an important and huge task that can be made a lot faster if you do the right things. Now, today is a video pretty much talking about what I think is probably going to be the fastest way to level up from 60 to 70. And my basis for saying this as not generally a hardcore retail player is that this leveling method is going to be used by a lot of the players in the race to world first. It's been tested by the fastest levelers in the world on both the beta as well as people that hold the records for multiple world records on leveling. And also it's going to be officially sponsored and used by the raiding guild Echo. And if you don't know Echo, you should know they're pretty much one of the best guilds in the world and have been for a long time. Over time, Blizzard has gotten really good at making the game not necessarily need you to have extra add-ons. And they've actually made it so most quest hubs or most zones will lead linearly to level you all the way up to max level. But they're generally thought of as not the fastest way to level. Well, a lot of people traditionally like to supplement this with add-ons like Azeroth Autopilot, one of my favorite add-ons in the world because it just kind of gives you an arrow and tells you where to go. Well, what I'm actually going to use, and I know a lot of players are actually going to use, is going to take that and step it up times 10. And that's going to be the rested XP guides. Now, if you play Classic at all, you probably absolutely know the name rested XP because it is by far probably the most convenient way to level up in the entire game, other than getting boosted all the way up and paying for it. So early on, you're probably gonna have to level up your own character. You're not really gonna be getting boosted for it. And the fastest ways are gonna be pretty much to follow an arrow that tells you exactly what the fastest route will be. Now, it's not just an arrow that tells you which ways to go, but a lot of quests actually have things that are a little bit misleading or can be a little bit confusing. And if you ever run into anything like this, the rested XP guides will tell you in very easy to understand words exactly what you should be looking out for, exactly what you should do to complete the quest. And there's always going to be actually tips and tricks for how you can complete a quest that might be a little hard or confusing, which doesn't happen too often in retail nowadays. I do have to give the caveat that, of course, this guide is a paid for guide. It is $25, and if you buy it once, you have all versions of it pretty much for the entire future. But it does come with the pre-order with a lot of preparation. So you'll get an entire preparation guide to get you ready for leveling up all the way to level 70. And I know that this guide is phenomenal for Classic, but I wanted to make sure it worked really well for retail. So what I did was go and test myself leveling from a fresh character all the way to level 60 to see exactly how useful it is seeing this guide and using it. And I made it actually all the way from level 1 to level 60 in about 4 hours on a class I had never played. And I even personally haven't played the game since Shadowlands came out. Now, I know the newest world record during the pre-patch of this leveling path was actually faster than that. It was in the 3-hour mark, but this is from someone who hasn't played the game in forever and had to pretty much set up the entire game before I could even get started. So that should give you a good reference of exactly how well put together this is and how easy it is for someone who has no idea what they're doing to go in and just kind of level very, very quickly. Now, I personally plan on playing pretty much mostly for Mythic Plus right now, and I'm extremely excited for that. The eye levels you can get and the rewards all the way up to Mythic 20s are just so exciting. So I plan on having multiple characters to run with different Mythic Plus compositions. So to get this done, I absolutely am going to be taking advantage of this guide, and I really do think you guys should too. Now, of course, you can get a discount for the guide in the description if you want that. You don't even have to use my discount though, guys. I'm just trying to get this information to everybody who's coming in to play Dragonflight and wants to level up quickly so they can get into endgame content. You're absolutely going to be seeing a lot of the Race to World First raiders actually using this guide and promoting it this next week. So be ready to see it pretty much all over the place. Now, if you want a free and easy option, I highly suggest just checking out Azeroth Autopilot. It's always phenomenal. Although I do remember on the onset of Shadowlands, it did have some issues, but they usually fix those pretty quickly. So be prepared for that. Same thing for Reset XP though. It will be continuously updated to make sure you're going through the most optimal route at all times. And if you guys plan on playing Dragonflight, or if you don't know if you're gonna play it at all, I am, by the way, giving away 2 free heroic editions of the actual expansion if you just like, retweet, and comment on this Twitter post you're seeing in the background, which again will be linked in the description. Good luck out there, guys, and I'll see you all out in the Dragon Isles.